I think your questions are as loud as mine. Why is Auxillia Mnangagwa interested in the story of this serial killer? I want you to stick around because we're going to get into details. You don't just get interested into something except when you know there is an exchange of energy, right? For those who don't know, I think it's on record that Auxilia used to be a traditional healer's aid, right? So, you call them Makombi Panganga. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. I want you to know that the story of Chivayo and Auxillia Mnangagwa, these two stories, were definitely orchestrated for one reason: to make sure that Zimbabweans don't have to demand a live stream of the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 hearings in the Constitutional Court. Let's pay attention because we are dealing with criminals. They understand how to throw a dead cat so that you focus on smaller little issues, but at the helm of it, they're trying to cloud your judgment so that you don't focus on important things. So don't be played. But I also want to let them know that we are wide awake. All right, so let me throw in icebreaker. It's important. Shout out to Miniyothabo Chiwenga. Incredible woman. She's an incredible woman. I've been following some of your messages and how she's relating with people on social media. But again, I hope you can hear me, Mini, okay? I'm just tricked. So she wrote a message. It's a very important message. I want you to pay attention as I'm reading it. She said, I once wrote discouraging ladies from calling their husbands, okay, I can't even repeat that word, but dogs. Wow, that's a lot. Ndikatukwa pano, but I'm back with my ministry because I believe marriages are under attack, and it's our duty as religious people to protect that institution. My advice today is, Chero ukatsama say, Murandakazi, never insult your husband in public. But in closed doors, you can even beat him, no problem. And then she chuckled. I'm sure it was just a joke. Just kidding. Ivamubatsiri akakwana, be the Proverbs 31 verse 23 woman, we will make sure her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. You know, sometimes I always say, I think Mapuzanu wera kunema sina hari, ain't it? Like for me as a single person. Stick around, be nice. Comment in the comment section if you're single, you're married. How is it going? Because you know what? I can only imagine the day that I will kind of join hands with my sweetie pie, the king of my castle. I'm talking about my lord, like Karanga, because I'm from a shingle, so we call many, you call them Ishewe, right? You know, the king, the lord. Even Sarai in the Bible used to call Abraham my lord. So listen, these are not just stories, these are reality. Men play a huge role in society.
25, the High Court of Zimbabwe received 3,989 divorce applications between January and December, marking a 27% increase from the 3,138 cases recorded in the previous year. On the contrary, 11,160 couples had their marriages solemnized by magistrates across the country in 2025. Now, what could be driving people out of something others are rushing into?
I actually think it's very important to think about giving people provisional marriage certificates so that after a certain period of time you can actually have it confirmed. But I can tell you the numbers that we're actually seeing now can actually shock you, especially if you realize that so many people were actually divorced without being formally divorced. So I would like to encourage those who are married, and obviously those who are contemplating getting married, to actually take time, ask yourself what you're committing yourself into.
Marriages are under attack because we were sleeping. Let me explain. The church that should preach a lot of sanity success, I'm talking about prosperity, like looking after families and children, they were so afraid of confronting the wicked regime. Because whether you like it or not, the notion that, oh no, politics is a dirty game, no, it's diabolical, it's not for Christians, it was engineered by criminals. And they began to fund that narrative. Then it wiggled itself into our streets, then it filtered to the entire country. And people are afraid to discuss politics in church. They call it is demonic, right? But listen to me. God himself, I'm talking about Yahweh, is very political. Read the Bible with understanding. Do you know that the reason why the devil was chucked out of the heavens was politics, power, control. He didn't know that he was dealing with the creator of the heavens and the earth. He saw the attractive of power in heavens and was like, I wish I could be worshipped. That's why he said to Jesus, you see all this? After he had 40 days and 40 nights praying, right, and fasting, said, you see all this? Look how the world looks like. I can give that to you if you worship me. And said, thou shalt worship thy Lord your God, no one else. So just to show you how political God is. So if you're not smart, you're going to listen to lies, but nothing's for free. Then in return, we have a problem today in the country. All the challenges we have been, I'm talking about maybe 90% or 80% of our problems will be resorted once we stop criminality in our country. They will be resolved immediately because that's the reason where we are today, poverty. I hate poverty with all of my soul and my heart. And the worst part about Zim is that poverty was engineered, like many-made poverty, intentionally so to destroy Zimbabwe. That's why me and Mnangagwa, we can't be in the same room. I don't like that man. I don't like even Auxillia and how deceptive they are as a family. Do you know that the daughter-in-law is preaching online? I'm going to pray for you right now that God is going to provide for you. No, we don't want provision of an illusion. We want you to stop stealing money from the people and then use that money to fund water, to fund proper roads, so people can have proper salaries, to fund our economy. The money you're stealing that you've stashed in foreign land is the reason our people are suffering. Some of the things you don't need prayer, you just need wisdom. Because wisdom is profitable to direct. I said 80% of our problems will be resolved the day that we remove Mnangagwa and all his criminals, whether you like it or not. And let me say this, I think God in the heavens, Yahweh, is laughing. It's like, my children, I gave you everything that you need. Minerals more than skisi. We're the most richest country, right, in Africa. But we have nothing to show. This has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with our lack of wisdom. Entertaining criminals, smiling at them and call them, rich people. And God is like, you see, I feel sad and really feel sad about these guys who are pushing the narratives for Emmerson Mnangagwa. That's sad. So we're not poor. Marriages are collapsing because of poverty. Men are frustrated. They're depressed. They've been stripped of their leadership mantle by these criminals. Imagine watching your child taking drugs and you can't help. You can't even report to the police because the police are also serving criminals. There's a tweet that was written yesterday by Tema Mliswa. He said Mutamba himself, the commissioner of police, and actually take the police Zimbabwe, he's being funded by criminals, so he can't do his job. And I have first hand with Mutamba because the day the young boys were abducted, I looked for his number and I phoned him. I said, I want to see these kids back today. Whatever you're going to do, if you can turn the tables, do whatever you want to do. I want these kids to come back today. The kids were brutalized by criminals, Mnangagwa's gangs. They were beaten up, abducted. Sweetie pies from university. He said he's going to come back to me. I never heard from him again. And this is a commissioner of police. He doesn't feel nothing about the crimes that are being committed by Mnangagwa and his gangs. Shameful. But that's what you see. Men. Mutamba is a father before he comes in and be a commissioner of police. Meaning, when a child is being hurt, he should feel it as a father. But he doesn't because his heart has grown cold. He's in love with money more than the principle. It's sad. But let me tell you this, we are on the right direction. All that you are seeing now, this is going absolutely nowhere. 2030 will not see the light of day. Mnangagwa is heavily cornered. He can scream all he wants. He can be boastful and tell you that, no, I'm the king, I can't talk to anybody. Hey, I'm King Mutapa. Oh, those are just jokes. He's going absolutely nowhere. 2030, like I said, it will not see the light of day. Let's look at the resume of Minnie very quickly. Minnie, one thing that I love about her is that she's simply representing the normal person in society, like some of us. And she hasn't been really stuck in the government for a long time. The problem about most of these people who are destroying the country to desperate women, we have been in the structures of ZANU-PF for decades. And all they know is criminality, greed. They turn a blind eye when evil happens. When kids are being drugged, they act like they don't see it. So Auxillia is obsessed with a criminal, a serial killer, not the kids. We'll get there very shortly. Stick around. Let me read what Minnie said. Once upon a time, Chichitiga Masaga of China. At first, we could use taxis, then Kana Maria Shoma to Shansama bikes, and then towards the end, Taifamba. Shout out to all the people trying to make ends meet. One thing for sure, God blesses the works of our hands. Chichaita one day. Keep pushing. I agree. We are getting there. Chill. Are you looking to start or grow your business in South Africa as a foreign national? Education, research, and development consultancy makes it simple and stress-free. From company registration with CIPC to opening your business account, filing your taxes with SARS, and handling your annual returns, they got you covered. Local or international, ERDC handles everything so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Ready to get started? Contact or WhatsApp the admin at 0027 73 302 1868. 0027 73 302 1868. You can also email the admin at owen.erdc@gmail.com. owen.erdc@gmail.com. So for those who didn't know as well, you can actually open an account in South Africa, and more details are on the flyer that you just watched now. Please do not waste your money on stupid things, especially in banks that are looting and stealing from you. Save your money. That account works as an investment account. You can do any transaction across the world. So anywhere you are as a Zimbabwean or any foreigner, please, even local people, open these accounts. They're really good for you. Anyway, let's look at the judgment, the CAP 3 judgment. I've told you that there's a link between this entrance of Auxillia Mnangagwa. Instead of them streaming the CAP 3 court case, they were streaming Auxillia Mnangagwa, who is supporting a criminal. Make it make sense, Zimbabweans. But there is exchange. Stick around. I also want to read what Pachedu said. He said, it is with regret that the Chief Justice refused a live broadcast of CAP 3 case. In South Africa, almost all court proceedings are broadcast on live TV, bed started by the Chief Justice Gwaunza. Nothing will work in Zimbabwe until you remove Mnangagwa and these criminals. That one, don't even blame the Chief Justice. I feel for her, honestly. It's hard to work with criminals. Nothing works. So this is not her more than you can ever imagine. I saw the beautiful young, my lady, who is now the Attorney General, Auditor General, so my bad. Yeah. What happened? People are like, she's very qualified. I was like, my sweetie pie, I know she is. But considering the circumstances, it's going to be hard. Where do you draw a line between your principles and criminality? That's what the problem is. As long as Mnangagwa is in that bench, in that chair, and his gangs are bragging on the street, forget it. But don't worry, help is on the way. The Constitutional Court's refusal to allow live streaming of the War Veterans Challenge to CAP 3 undermines public accountability and open justice. A case that determines the future of presidential term limits should not be heard in the dark. Zimbabweans deserve transparency. I think Mnangagwa, at the back of his mind, he sees himself as the king of Zimbabwe. Zerota. I swear. I noticed that I'm not the only one who is questioning why is Auxillia Mnangagwa behave so weird. I'm talking about the president's wife is going to court in support of a criminal. Firstly, she went to prison to interview him and act surprised. But then her own husband spearheaded the killing of 4 people, more than 20,000 in Matebele land. She doesn't feel nothing about that. She doesn't see anything wrong with that. Deception. Let's read what Zimba Life reported. It's happening now. First Lady Auxillia Mnangagwa is at the Harare Magistrates Court for the sentencing hearings of an alleged serial killer, Anymore Zitsva, who has pleaded guilty to 10 charges, including rape, attempted murder and robbery. Mrs. Mnangagwa has previously visited Zitsva in prison. The High Court would try the 32-year-old on multiple murder charges, which now stands at 15. I heard that he was given 89 years in prison. So this one is life in prison. Sad. But we can never exonerate the fact that this guy may be connected to ZANU-PF thugs. But for those who are paying attention from the spiritual point, it's the same way you get impacted or you get a transaction with a person who is spiritual, whether in whichever way or form. It can be traditional spirituality, it can be spirituality of religion. In any religion, there's a transfer of energies. When someone seems to be more stronger and powerful in whichever way they behave, if you get closer to them, there's exchange of energy. The question is, why is Auxillia Mnangagwa so interested in this guy? Why? We need to pay attention, because I genuinely believe most of the guys who are committing crimes on behalf of Mnangagwa, these gangs, those guys, some of them have been removed, may have been released from prison. Given freedom, you do the dirty work, we pay you. Will you say no? Will you say no, yo? Because these guys are willing to walk on dead bodies to get what they want. They're not afraid of blood, of innocent people. That one is very clear, it's on record. They aren't. I remember Susan Mutami wrote that and said, you don't know this family. They're not afraid. And of course, we've spoken about Mnangagwa's mental health, which I genuinely believe that there must be something wrong, even though we don't want to take it serious. But eventually I know some of you, we have seen it, and some will agree at the right time. The guy needs help. He is in his own world. Mnangagwa has got a mental problem, not because of his age. He has always had mental problems. If the behavior that Mnangagwa has been showing for the past decades, if it was an ordinary Zimbabwean, what will you guys do? You could have freaked out and say he needs to go to prison, or he needs to go to see my psychologist or my psychiatrist. He could have done that, right? But for some reason, because he's that is ZANU-PF with a title, he can do whatever he's doing with no accountability. That's where we have a problem, Zimbabweans. I said it and I'll repeat today. We need to consider mental health when we choose leaders to lead the country. Because where Zimbabwe is today, it's a testament that most people on the top are not mentally fit to hold offices. And I'm saying this not because I have hatred for them, but I genuinely think that they need help. If you are comfortable watching people being killed and you continue like nothing has happened under the same administration, you have mental problems. Because the conscience should track you to a point where you can't even sit, you can't even eat. You run away. But if you're comfortable coming back tomorrow and get a salary, people are being killed, abducted, and tortured under your watch, something is wrong mentally. We should never take that for granted or take that lightly. Auxillia is not just going there. She knows what she wants. Time will tell. Because there's so many things that are going wrong in Zim. But she's very interested in this, particularly this story. Probably she knows why. There's a transaction. So proceedings, Court 11 being shown on TV because Auxillia Mnangagwa, and yet the CAB 3 in the court, which is currently going on, had media coverage denied. I ask her again, what is your interest in this matter? That is actually Ango Gerard. Ango is asking questions. What is your interest? A masterclass in misdirection. ZANU-PF has mastered how to direct public attention and opinion into stupid things. Throwing a dead cat so that people can look at rubbish. This case is between life and death. But no, they started bringing their. That's why I didn't pay attention to the Chiwenga, which I'm going to talk about when I talk about Ramaphosa. I didn't pay attention to that because I knew that was the goal, to confuse you so that you're busy with stupid things, while important issues that require your attention is being literally shoved into spaces where we may not be able to turn. But trust me, they are cornered. Enough, it is just enough. Let's look at some of the comments there. Ango Gerald said, what is your interest in this? BMAPs, but she keeps next to a Gukra Hundesti who massacred thousands. Why is she interested in a serial killer who only killed 10? Then Taps, what's your interest in this matter? Does the first lady usually attend sentencing of criminals? This is very strange. She should be commiserating with the victims' families, not attending court for the murderer. This is an interference with judicial processes, giving undue pressure to the magistrate. Zimbabwe needs people so. As in days with Marital, she's the devil. What does she want to see? Dwayne knows in solidarity wrong. This is a traumatic event to the families of the victims. What's your obsession with this Judicial guy? Maybe they are related. Shinika kunyadzi samkatis, full of drama, main actor syndrome. So she's a very strange, morbid woman with a fascination for murder and death. I guess rumors are true that she's a sangoma, to actually break law and protocol by interviewing the murderer and also attending the court cases. I've told you she's a sangoma. I mean, that has been spoken, it's on record, and some of the people who grew up with they also confirmed. So pretty much there's an exchange of energy. You get that? We are living in a wicked world. But our weapons of warfare are not carnal. They are mighty through God to bring down every stronghold. Oh my God. With God, all things are possible. Is there anything too hard for God to do? Freedom is coming. It's around the corner. This time around, it will not work simple. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, God bless you and God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.